Thanks for that, Al. Very nice of you. This is how I spent my summer, 2,404 miles, 82 days, dressed like a Mexican pirate, stand-up paddling the length of the Mississippi River. I had all of my belongings in dry bags. I even had my own little Wilson that I found floating down a river. It was the fourth journey of my Expedition 1000 project, which Al has kindly suggested. It didn't involve dating at all. 25 journeys, each one 1,000 miles or more in distance, some way more than that, each one using a different form of non-motorized transport. Human, animal-powered, and sometimes natural powered too. All kinds of stuff going on. It didn't always used to be this way. I used to be a massive loser. I used to be a graphic designer 6 years ago. All I wanted to do was go home and play PlayStation. I was awesome at Pro Evo Soccer. Comfort kills ambition. Not one, but two sofa-sized beanbags. Ridiculous. So school, uni, job, degree, what did that give me? Total depression. I needed something new. I only realized that I was unhappy when I thought about it, and I took up longboarding to try and develop some chronic snowboarding skills. It didn't take me long to decide that newness was everything. For the first time in 5 years, I had some passion. So I decided to skate the length of Britain. That was a warm-up. And then I went across Australia. If you want to get out of your comfort zone, try skateboarding. 4,500 miles in 8 months is ridiculous. It gives you a lot of time to think. It doesn't matter how you cross Australia. You think an awful lot. And I realized that it was just too much for me. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was physically exhausted, I was psychologically destroyed. The camera crew who followed me for 8 months left with all of the footage. I never saw it again. I shrunk down into myself. I wrote a book. It's available at the back. It's the only one on the table, £10. It's great. Write a book when you're bitter. It's really entertaining. I didn't trust anybody who held a camera after that, so I taught myself how to film and edit, and I didn't really know what was going on in my adventuring career, so I started to think about what made me tick. That seemed like the best thing to do. Eventually, my freedom came when I realized I could fit everything I needed for 3 months on a single bed. So I went back to Australia and I paddled the length of the Murray River, 2,500 kilometers. It's a long, stagnant pool. Australia in late 2009 had been in a drought for 9 years, so I decided to film a documentary about this. It looks like a healthy river. It's barely a foot deep. If I had platform shoes, I could have walked across it pretty much anywhere. I realized that I must have done something right. I must have made a good decision at some point, because my riverbank was now my office. And sometimes it takes us to have a diagnosis of an illness or a car crash to really make us grip life by the throat and make the most of it. But I say, just don't wait for the crap. Just go and do it right now. My 2 journeys up until then, I didn't have a long-term plan, but my 2 journeys have been completely different. At the end of the skateboarding thing, I had loads of media there. At the end of the Murray journey, a lone seal jumped up to say hello. I preferred the seal. But really, oh, that's weird. That's gone all kind of crazy. The vicious circle of badness, I call it. It's usually a circle. I hadn't got a plan because I wasn't committing to anything. I was just making excuses. These are not reasons, they are excuses. I didn't have the time, I didn't have the money. All I needed, really, was a long-term plan, because the only thing that was holding me back was I was scared of living. And then I met some adventurers. Mark Couch had rafted the Amazon, Sarah Ooten had rowed the Indian. I met Al, he'd cycled around the world, and he was in the process of writing his 59th book about it. He seemed to be doing quite well. My mate, Seb Terry, was traveling the world. As an Aussie guy, he's got a bucket list called 100 Things. It was a genius idea. I needed my own bucket list. Seb and I were invited to speak together, opening a business conference in Vegas. So we decided to go to Vancouver on a tandem bicycle, because there were 2 of us. And we only started in Vancouver because it started with V, like Vegas. Sounded cool. 14 days, 1,400 miles, 100 miles a day. It was just a simple plan. I wish I'd trained. I wish I'd bought some proper cycle pants rather than borrowing some off my mum. My arse felt like it was in a vice after 30 miles, but we just needed to keep to the plan. And we got there eventually. Amazing, just traveling these long roads in Nevada. But I always got dragged back to the water. I live by a few simple rules. Never bait an alligator, never pat a short man on the head. And if I need refocus, paddle the length of a river. The people at the top tell you one thing, the people at the bottom tell you another thing, and everybody tells you you're going to die. But you only know the full story when you actually paddle the entire river. It's a beautiful sport, stand-up paddleboarding. It's just a long surfboard, a long paddle, and the only working parts are in your body. It's just a beautiful, beautiful way to travel. I'll never kayak again, having done this journey, 2,500 miles standing up. The view is so much better than sitting down. I'm an ambassador for Blue, a climate and oceans initiative, and through my journeys, my watery journeys, I try and encourage people to get outside, take up a healthy recreational sport and engage with their environment. It was like Forrest Gump on a stand-up paddleboard heading into Memphis. Thanks to some folks at Graceland, I left dressed as Elvis, channeling the king. Now, alligators are the second most dangerous creature on the planet after female humans, and if anything's going to make you crap yourself, it's seeing a 2-meter wide slide mark down the bank. You got to face your fears, and the best way to face them is just to face them. After that, it doesn't really matter. I realized every single day that I was completely insignificant on the Mississippi. I was small compared to the barges and the ships. I was small compared to the river. I was tiny compared to most Americans. And when you realize you're small, nothing else really matters. Now, this is my bucket list now. And looking at it just makes me feel as happy as I did. This has gone a little bit crazy as I did when I got into the Gulf of Mexico. We all suffer from the same terminal disease, life. I've decided to prioritize my happiness, chase my dreams, and hopefully because of that, I'm going to... thanks, Al. And hopefully because of that, I'm going to achieve more than I would have had I stayed on those sofa-sized beanbags. Cheers. That's really true, actually.